Good evening, Shaggy SoCal with 2Old4Forza, and time for the next round 4 of TNT Season 40. And we're going to hell. We are going to the green hell. It's going to be the Nordschliefe and the GT40. So this one, I'm just because the Nordschleife is such a long lap, but I'm a masochist anyway. I won't do a full out lap and then the slow. I'm probably just going to jump straight in and do the slow lap, and even then I'm just going to probably drive around enough just to point out the tricky places that I've been finding that this that you're going to have in this GT40. And then at that point, then I'm going to be crazy, and I'm actually going to see how long it takes to do 10 laps in this car. Well, let's go ahead and just do the test drive here. Then actually, before I get too far into it, just because it's a slow lap, I just want to don't have to worry about the clutch. Okay. So one of the things I can tell you, third gear is going to be your friend. That's the gear you're probably going to be mostly in through a good portion of the track. But come up here, just past start finish, you're going to brake here, turn 1, second gear. Turn in. Heading down the hill, and I think this is Hassenbach coming up. Usually, I'm, again, because you're going to have it right off the bat. This is one, I've been taking this in third. You can do it in fourth, and it's that difference in feel. If you're going to do it in fourth, you're going to have to brake to get the car into the turn, and you're going to be fidgeting with weight shift, because you're going to have to brake and put the weight forward, then you're going to release and try and bounce the car. What I found is if you leave it in third, if you've gotten a good exit out of the first corner there, I think that's the Sabine Schmitz corner that it's now called, you're going to be banging the rev limiter right when you get to the 2 kilometer sign here. And I think when I get up to speed and pace, usually at that point I'm just kind of releasing the throttle and letting the car kind of turn and roll itself in. It's that whole thing of that releasing the throttle and being in the high gear. The gearing will slow the car down without putting too much weight in the front and unbalancing the back. At least that's what I've been finding. You might feel the back end kick out a little bit, but I found for me that was much easier than trying to brake and forth and get out and get through the corner. So because you're in third, you want to get to fourth, maybe short shift to fourth here before you start getting into this curve. I think this is Hassenbach, I believe, but these next series of corners. Brake early, give yourself room on the right side, down to third gear. You're going to hear me saying third gear a lot. And again, the one thing I would point out with the curbing at the Nürburgring is if the curbing looks like it's got any angle to it, height to it, you really want to try and stay off of it. You get on it, it's going to push the car. Are there exceptions? Yes. But I think definitely, if you're hitting the corner with any significant speed, you might want to try and stay off the curbing if you can. I mean, you still want to apex as close as possible, but that'll keep the car settled. So again, third gear out, bring it back out here. Getting the next series of corners. Now you can see these next couple of ones, the curbing's not as high. So I'll probably get on those curbing a little bit. And I'll do the same thing. I'll abuse this curbing a little bit. And I'll abuse this one. But I will stay off this one on the outside. As I bring it back over, still in third. Late turn in. Cut across the middle. And now heading down towards Fugplatz, which is over this crest here, over this bridge here. Third, fourth gear. I'm not sure, I forget. I don't think you're going to get to fifth, but this is one of the first problem areas you're going to find with the Nordschleife is Fugplatz. Because if you crest this hill, because this car wants the nose already, even with the downforce, the nose still wants to take off and go to Hawaii. It's going to be very late as you crest the hill. So I'm still trying to figure out the most consistent way to get through it. What I probably have been tending to do is just as I'm getting to the crest of the hill, as I'm easing off the throttle a little bit, that lets the weight transfer. It'll still get a little light as you crest the hill, but it should give me the opportunity to brake, probably, if I have to brake, probably right about here at the 79 board, or where the barrier is, just to get a slight slight enough brake to get the car slowed down, so then I can just arc it into the next corner here. So probably, and I'm not sure, I may downshift third gear, back up to fourth. And then this next section, you're just going to floor it, be as smooth as possible with the steering. And as you come up here into I'm going to butcher this German, but it translates to Swedish cross. What I do for this corner here is this exclamation point sign is where I'm going to brake slightly. Just a light brake. It's not a heavy brake. I'm just trying to scrub a little bit of speed, get a little weight to the front. I'm going to release the brakes as I'm and as I'm braking, I'm starting to bring the car to the left. I'm going to release the brakes as I kind of cross between the two signs here, the 5 kilometer and the Yokohama sign. That's about where I'll release the brakes, fully turn in, and if I've done it right, the car should just coast pretty nicely over the crest of the hill to the exit. I won't go all the way out in the exit. I'll probably have it, maybe bring it about mid-track. That is going to be, depending on how you hit that, you might feel the front buffet, you might feel the front end kind of get a little wiggly. Just modulate the throttle, roll back in, pull back into the throttle, full gear here, down to which gear? Third gear. And I'll make the right turn here, hug the inside, roll out of the throttle, back to the left side. Now, this I'm going to play with a little bit. Normally I tend, it's kind of like what I do at Monza coming out of Lesmo 2, is I stay to the left, and then as I crest the hill like that, I just kind of, without putting a lot of steering into it, I just kind of let the car kind of drift to the right side as the road curves to the left. But because of the crest of the hill and the little bumps that are all through here, if you don't get the steering smooth enough, it may not be, the car might get a little bit unsettled. So you may want to bring the car out a little bit. And then as you crest, then kind of take this a little bit straighter down through there. So I'll probably play with that in the mock race just to see which way is easier or not. But again, you can see kind of straight through in between all those corners, keeping it to the right side down into Foxhole. Foxhole is the second area where this is going to be sketchy. And not because, again, most of what we've been dealing with this GT40 has been kind of weight loss on the front end, especially cresting hills or hitting bumps, and it kind of wobbles about. This one is dangerous. It's the opposite. Is at Foxhole, you're going to hit a huge amount of compression, and which is going to grip the front tires up, even uber grip them up. And depending on what you're doing with the steering wheel, you might feel as you hit that compression, you might feel the front of the car lurch to the left. So just kind of be ready for that. I think the compression is going to hit, probably right about here, and it's right before you brake. Normally what I look for, I'll have the braking line on, but what I also look for in the pavement to brake for these next series of corners is you can see kind of primarily look for the blue. And in most cars, that's usually where I'm kind of targeting to brake at. Sometimes the red, depending on how good it is. I think with this GT40, I'm finding braking at the yellow graffiti is what works best, is to get the car slowed down. And the aim is to brake, and I'm trying to arc the car to clip this curbing. And again, because of the compression in Foxhole, there are going to be times where I'm going to be most of the way to the left as I'm getting up here, or I'll be in dead center. Hopefully I'm not all the way off on the right, but that's the setup, is I want to try and get up here, clip this curb a little bit, but keep the car to the left. I think I'm in fourth gear at this point, braking again, down to third. And then here you have a choice. I can normally in most cars is I'll drop it to second for these last two this left-right combo. I think you can leave it in third. So your choice. But for this left-hander, it's a late apex, so you can bring it to the left side. And then as you go to make the right-hander, here's an exception. Because it's relatively slow, You can get the car up on this curbing. Just mind how quickly you get back to the throttle when you exit. Now coming down to this next section, here I'll just let the car drift out. And as I crest the hill here, I'm just going to point it straight at the next apex. Because it'll line me up perfectly. There'll be a little break. They'll do a quick brake here because it sets me perfectly up for this next left-hander. It'll be a quick brush of the brakes. Still in 4th gear at this point. Turn the car in. Out. Probably braking about here for the turn by the radio tower. I guess that's a radio tower. I take this one in 3rd, the speed I'm carrying. And for me, this is also a late apex. 3rd gear, back across. Still in 3rd, brake here. And again, the line's actually pretty good here, a late apex. This is the next one I'm having an issue with as far as I think ideally you do want to bring the car out a bit. Just give yourself a little bit of room because the grass will bite. Maybe a quick brush of the brakes. Get apex it there. The curbing there and bring this out. And this next corner, I think his name is Misha. I'll butcher his last name, but if you look him up on YouTube, it's actually, I guess, an instructor, also like at the Nürburgring, or they have a company that does like ring taxis and driving experiences. He calls this next series of rights, he calls it unofficially miss, hit, miss, because it's a long curve, but there's 3 apexes. So on the entry, you're going to kind of miss the first one right here. But you want to hit the second one and then kind of miss the third one. Now, when I say miss the third one is don't be all the way out to the left side. I'd say you can be off a little bit. Otherwise, because you don't want to be so far off of it that you get spit out off course here on the left-hand side. But that's miss, hit, miss. 3rd gear, maybe 4th, back down to 3rd, cut the corner here, slow down for this next corner. Up to you, I'm still trying to figure this one out. I think I usually like doing 2nd and then I short shift out of it. You might be able to do it in 3rd. So again, play around with that, see what works best for you. So if I'm in 2nd, it's a late apex. Back, rolling into the throttle, might be able to hold it in 2nd through here. Might have to short shift, but definitely up to 3rd at this point. Then to 4th. Corner here, down, braking right about the access road, maybe a little before, back down to 3rd. Missed, completely blew that apex, but again, you want to bring the car back to the left side here. Brake, still 3rd gear. Up the hill, down towards the Niki Lauda corner, where he famously crashed and suffered severe burns. Just right about here. Keep the car to the left. Brake, brake, brake. Back down to 3rd. And you start to climb the hill. Now, when you get your steering fluid, you can do this flat out. At worst, if you have reservations, especially here, flat out through there, no problem, 5th gear. I want to slow up a little bit because we're now going to hit what I just learned was called the corner of courage, which is this left-hander right here. Now, what I've been using as an additional reference for this corner is, you notice how that Armco is a different color. I use that as the braking point. So just as I'm getting to it, that's where I'm going to brake and downshift it to 4th and then turn it in. If I do it right, I'll turn the car in, it'll come out to here in 4th gear, up the hill, bring the car back to the left. And you can see where this curbing starts. So this curbing on the left, what I've been doing is, I usually don't see it till I'm almost past it, but usually that's fine because the second I see it, that's kind of like maybe a quick little brush of the brake to get through this next corner and then roll back into the throttle. Out to the left. The line I've been taking into I will say the line I've been taking into this next corner to head up to towards the carousel is, I don't believe, the ideal line. I think it's the line that I've been doing a lot of times, probably because it's where I've been, force passing, pushing past AI cars. The proper line, you'll brake right about where that curving starts, and you're going to keep it to the left here a little bit, and then turn it in, probably a late turn in, make around that corner. What I tend to do is I'll keep it to the left side, but then I kind of straight dive it into the inside of that corner there. You'll see it when I run it. So it might be one of those, you might not want to do what I do there, because I think it gets you into the corner quickly, but it doesn't get you out of the corner quickly. Heading up for the carousel, this is going to be another little trouble area, mainly because as you drop into the carousel, it's second gear, it's slow, and at least with me with a controller, I have a hard time keeping the car in the carousel. Usually it'll start drifting up about here, out. So have fun with that. It's slowest corner on the track, I think. Up, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Quick brush of the brakes as you pass the striped curbing there. That'll help get the car settled as you kind of let off the brakes and let the car kind of coast into here. Roll back into the throttle, still in fourth. Get the car out to the right side without straying into the grass. It's another place where I crash a lot. And here, I think what works best is another brush of the brake as you get to that curbing. Bring it up the hill here, still in fourth. I usually keep it in fourth. And as I get to here, then for this next corner, brush of the brake down the third. And the third through here. And again, I'm in third gear, even though I'm winding up third gear as I'm getting to this course condition light. It's really just third gear, let off. And this is probably one of my favorite sections of the ring, because it is just a bunch of left-right combos. But if you can get into a rhythm, it's really nice. It's a lot of, at least I enjoy it. I don't know about you. It's still in third gear, brush of the brake. Stay off the curb here. You can cut this curb a little bit if you dare. Still in third, down the hill. Brush at the end of the curb, brush the brake at the end of the curb, up over the hill. Out to the right, bring it out to the left, bring it back right. This, I'll take a little bit wider of an entry, because it is kind of a double apex, but what I'm aiming for is that white block of pavement here on the left. So I want to end up here to brake for the next corner, which, if you watch a lot of Nürburgring YouTube videos, this has been affectionately called YouTube, because this is the part where you see a lot of people beef it by going off wide. Bring it out, you can get on the curbing a little bit, brake just before the end of the curbing, turn in, up, bring the car back to the right. This is the next one I have problems getting consistently, because you want to get all the way to the right. It is a late turn in. Still in third gear. Third gear up over the hill. I'll probably put it in fourth. Down the hill, fourth gear. So this could be the next trouble area. What I'm doing here is in fourth, and I'm brushing the brake just as I'm starting to go down the hill. It also kind of lines up with where the arm code changes color again. But it is just a brush of the brake. I do leave it in fourth through here. The car will settle in, you arc it in, let it come out a little bit, bring it back into the curbing, press the hill. And what you'll see me doing, especially through those curves in this next section, is a lot of times as I'm turning in, I'm releasing the throttle. I'm just wanting to get that little bit. I'm trying to minimize weight shift front to back, unless I really have to get on the brakes or not. If I can use the throttle adjusted that way, it keeps the car a little bit more compliant, especially over the little bumps and like that you're going to see me hit when we get up to speed. This next last section, heading down the little carousel, I used to, it would always be, it's like, hey, I wonder if I can take this next section flat out. In the GT40, you can't. It will kill you. Actually, no, GT40 won't kill you. The green hell will kill you because it's going to launch the GT40 off track. So a lot of what you'll see me doing through here is fourth gear. Is anytime I'm turning or cresting a hill, I'm going to release the gas, roll back in, release the gas, roll back in. Try to stay off the curbing, especially through this little area here. Probably won't get fully back in the gas until I'm out of that. Winding the car up. My braking for this next corner is going to be somewhere around where the access road there joins the track, or where that little fencing is. I guess there's a little bridge or something under there, but that's what I'm kind of using the gauge to brake for the next corner. It'll be brake, brake, brake. Still in fourth gear. Through here. Keep it to the right. Brake down to third. Late apex over here. Over to the little carousel, still in third gear. Brake in. Turn in. Let the car go out. Up to the right. Bring it back, still third gear. Quick brake. Out. Quick brake. Let the car settle in, and then roll back into the throttle. And then I'm using that Yokohama sign to kind of gauge, like, that's where I want to exit. Like, I want to be, as I'm passing the Yokohama sign, I want to be, parallel with the track, pointed down the straight. And this is now the longest straight on any permanent racetrack in the world. Le Mans used to be the longest, but once they put the chicanes in, it's no longer a true straight. So Mulsanne used to have the record, but this straight, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, is the longest straightaway in the world. Again, you'll be up in fifth gear here. Might even get some good drafting battles. I don't know, at least in my own playing around and drafting the AI, I have not had to use sixth. So coming under the bridge, to the inside, let it drift out. So for me, now again, on race night, I don't know if the barriers are going to be there. They may not. So a lot of it is I'm probably going to be on full throttle, and then as I'm getting to the apex here, probably where I'm going to start to ease off the throttle. I might brake a little bit, but definitely here is probably where I'm going to do the majority of the braking. And I'll probably be down to third here at this point. I'm going to play chicken with the barrier here on the inside, in third, down to second, and be in second by here. That's another area that's going to be, if you're brave and you get comfortable with it, it's a place that you might be able to make up a lot of time on somebody. But it's also, again, because that's it takes such a high level of commitment to fire the car through there and get to the braking late. Just be mindful of the people that you're catching. So someone might not be as confident and brake early, and then you're going to run into the backbone. Second gear through here. Keep it to the left, braking just as you get to the curbing. The inside, don't hit the wall, pull back into the throttle, and you're back on the front straightaway, the Nordschliefe. And again, braking for Sabine Schmidt's curve, you're going to actually get on the brakes right before you get to start finish. And that is a very abbreviated lap. Again, not spending a lot of time telling you where to set up and focus, but what you're going to see when I get up to speed into the mock race is this car is going to do some unpredictable things on the green hell. So it's probably even going to take me a couple of laps to really smooth out. But I'm going to quit talking on this test drive. Let me go and reset my assists and finish the test drive. Let's do the mock race, because I'm crazy. I'm going to do 10 laps and see how long it takes, because that's, everybody's wondering, how many laps are we going to do? Well, I'm thinking it's going to be close to 10. But for this race, my starting grid, I think I adjusted the AI that I'm racing against, and I'm going to, and bucket delays are going to be, again, I only have a minute to work with. So what I'm going to do is, so Starting at the front, I think we've made a change. I think we put the prototype racing group up front. So same car, same division that the GT40 is in, but they're not going to go as fast. Bucket 2, returning is our Formula 70s cars, which again, they're going to kill me in the corners, but I think anywhere where there's a significant enough straight, I have a little bit better top end. They're going to start, 30 seconds back. 45 seconds back, we'll start the Forza P2 cars. Actually, you know what? I'm going to adjust the buckets here a little bit. I'm going to put, let's start. No, I'm going to put you guys to 30. So you guys are all going to start 30 seconds. And I'm going to start at 60 as well, but actually what I'll do is give you guys a second head start. The reason being is I definitely want to start at 60 seconds, but I'm actually going to, for the true bucket 5, I'm actually going to wait an additional minute, start 2 minutes behind everybody, and just see how long it takes to kind of catch them. It'll also give me a couple of opening laps in clean air, and that way, then, as surprising things happen, then you'll see what's going on. Go ahead and set that, and I was over at. Let's go ahead and start the race. In my initial testing, and when we initially were testing the setup, we used Spa as kind of our main test track when we were kind of working out this tune, and mainly because Spa's kind of got some of the severe elevation changes that we knew we might be facing depending on what the rest of the schedule looked like, and I think that has probably made this tune decent. But again, comparatively, Spa is really smooth compared to some of the sections here on the Nordschliefe, because there's just some minor bumps there. Just you might go through a section of one lap and be fine, and then just if you're off a little bit, you'll feel the car take a bump that kind of throws the car off. I think it took me a couple of laps until I actually finally ticked one in that was clean, because I didn't drop tires or like that. So, see where we're at here. 2, 1, go. Yeah, you guys go ahead. See where we end up. Remember, there was one time it's like, ooh, I wonder if I could just back it up and take the first pit now. But no, I think Forza's smart enough that it's not going to count a quick stop until you, I think, at least complete the most of a first lap or complete the first lap. But 20 more seconds and then you can stop listening to me babble incessantly. Just trying to kill time. This is what I got to work on. Don't. I just stab the throttle. Been having problems with race starts lately. Okay, I can. I don't have to do anything tricky. Last race I was doing some tricky stuff with holding the clutch and the brake and like that. Really don't need to do that. And cold tires. Car's gonna understeer. Third gear. Throttle, the car will drift in nicely. Bumpy bumps here. So you're going to brake before you turn in, then you'll need to brake again before the next turn. I'm going to be a little bit conservative here on the outlap. See, stay off the curbing. Next time I go to flood plots, I'll floor it over the jump and hit the brakes and see what happens. Push the brake. Car in. I'm turning in a little bit earlier than what the braking line suggests, but it seems to work best for me. Yeah, it's even got a little bit of a tank slapper there. I still got to figure that one out. And of course then I missed that turn because I can't talk and drive at the same time. Little crack of the throttle there. And that was hit, but that might be the conservative approach. If you're comfortable with what the car is going to do. The other thing you'll notice, like in hood view, I can see it, but you'll definitely see the little puffs of smoke and sparks when the front splitter hits the hits the ground. Oops, second gear, nope, third. Now it's all fine here. This next chicane, right here, this next turn, depending on how you hit it, you can, yeah, see how the car bucked a little there? So there's just these small little bumps that you may hit, may not hit one lap, but hit the next. Alright, let's see if I can keep it in the carousel. Nope. That was more me just firing it in there too fast. Whoa. Don't do that. The thing I didn't really talk about it through on the corner laps. I just wanted to kind of get through the corners, let you kind of know what gearing I'm using and like that. But on the curb a little too much. But you know, if you're going to watch a couple of laps of me here doing this, just pay attention to what I'm doing with the throttle as well as the brake. You might see me just brush it here or there, brush the brakes here or there. But it's all just about keeping the car balanced. Right there. Definitely have to ease off the throttle there. You can hear the front tire coming off and going back onto the ground all through here. Whoa. and onto the and my plan is I'm actually going to go. I want to do 5 laps, then pit, and then I'll probably then pit immediately again. See? Front end took off. Brake and okay, so this lap I want to floor it. I want to keep I want to floor it over flood pots, then brake as soon as the front lands. You could do that. I don't like it. Just again, it's that whole consistency, minimizing random things that could happen. But again, brake enough there. That's a little better. A little too much curve, but that's kind of the general idea. Yeah, so short shifting from second before you get out of the corner is probably not a good idea, because it'll spin the rear tires up a little too much. Didn't feel the front was settled before turning, so just eased off the gas and then turn it in. That's kind of the line bad habit that I've picked up. Yeah, the car just wants to, there's just no grip to keep you in the corner. Brake. First couple of laps, you know, you're going to be on, you know, hashtag struggle bus. It's just going to take a bit to kind of sort out the car. I think once, at least for me, the first couple of laps I did, just because I hadn't, as the car bucks around a bit, took me a bit to smooth out the steering and trust what the car was going to do. But, you know, I'm just babbling at this point. Because I haven't caught anybody yet. Hopefully lap 3, maybe we can finally put a clean one in. Hill. Like tap of the brake. Yeah, so there's going to be a little braking before, you know, the really? I don't know why I downshifted a second. They're not paying attention. Yeah, I just like that light brush of the brakes. You saw going up over fog plots. As you start to crest that hill, there's just that little section of yellow, about where I've been, you know, just brushing the brakes just a little bit. Seems to scrub enough speed and keep the nose down enough to make then the next corner a little bit easier to get into. A little earlier than expecting, but you can kind of see how the front wanted to take off there to the left. Yeah, that's another corner. It's tough to get the balance just right through there. Couple just the way the turns go and the banking. don't think I've hit that apex yet. And just a little off on the throttle just because I hit the curving. I'm like, I don't know what the car is going to do. Give the front end a chance to settle before I do anything else with it. Hopefully you wheel guys have an easier time with that. I got very light there. Oh, someone's having a worse time than me. On the curbing, and it just unsettled the back of the car. Well, I almost followed him off. More dots on the I see dots on the screen. Unsettle the back end there a little bit. Ford versus Chevy. Keep forgetting, I want to keep it in third there. That's that superior handling and downforce. That Hasselback section with those left rights, again, because of the front end and the weight transfer, you know, don't be surprised if as you turn back the other way, if the fronts, depending on how you hit the bumps, the fronts may grip up a little quicker than you expect them to. If you notice there, I'm really not committing to the turn-in until I know that the front has settled down. Oh, don't let him buy Ferrari. This corner, good place to pass if you get the run set up. Okay, that I got on the brakes a little bit earlier, kind of about where the curbing starts on the right side, and that seemed to do the trick. Try that next lap and see if it's as smooth. I'm gonna really catch it. But down to second just because I'm really in traffic and going a little bit slower than I normally would be. Back to third. I thought about it. Might take a look down here. Yeah, I got it. That's another place you might try to pass. Usually stick it on the outside there. And then heading down into the Niki Lauda corner here. You might be able to set up a pass. Again, it's going to be, there aren't many prime places to set up passes, and certainly where you catch traffic is going to play a big part in how, over your pace. So patience is really going to be key, especially in these areas where there's going to be places where it's going to be tempting to pass, but those openings will close very, very quickly. So it's a little frustrating to be held up here, but I could have done that better. I would not try to dive bomb somebody in the carousel. You know what? Oh my God, that worked. Corvette's going to follow me through. Off on the right. And that's the turn I'm notoriously too late to get to the brakes. And again, through that section, I'd rather back off and give a little bit of a gap. Just, it helps me see where the track is going, but it also keeps me out of, if one of these guys beefs it, kind of keeps me out of the, gives me a better chance of avoiding getting caught up in it. That's a questionable place to pass. Alright. Now we're on the straightaway. That P2 car, bye-bye. No drafting for you. It's going to get dicey. I'm going to catch these guys right heading into the braking. These off a little bit early. I coasted in there. Come on, why are you going so slow? You have like 3 times the downforce at least. That's what fourth gear looks like. This corner here, that right hand and this left, depending on how you hit it. Again, just be careful with what the front's going to do, depending on how the weight transfers, how quickly weight transfers. That's doable, but risky. Look, come on. But you're going to go faster than that. Big old wang. Backing up. Let's be right on the tail heading up the front. I'll run here. Okay, I deserve that. Okay, let's see if I can do this next turn has been consistently a problem. Brake, turn in. Oh, that's hit, miss. Whoa. Watch the upshift. Actually, I'm not going to pull the sneaky move. Actually, I'm going to see if I can work through these guys in the next section. almost made that work. Car kind of straightened out at me when I didn't want it to. Those are still yellow, so I don't think I'm at that yet. Nope. So is it possible to go side by side? Yes, but you've got to be very conscious of the fact that somebody's beside you and trust that they're not going to run into you and they trust that you're not going to run into them. But and just skates all over the place. Come on. A little bit in the grass, but besides, I want to draft these guys. It's just in Ford versus Ferrari. Look at the guy by the side, not pay attention where I'm going. Oh, he's hanging with me. Wasn't expecting that. And we're gonna box. Short pit. I think I don't know what the accurate pit delta is, but you're in the pits for about 30 seconds. About 28, I think, technically. So it's quick in and out of the pits, not a lot of time to rest up. But we do have to make 2 of these. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an out lap and come right back in, get my second stop done, and then see where we end up at the end. And usually my habit is I will stay to the right of the white line and rejoin at the curbing. Come on, excuse me. You left the door open. Keep it in 4th there, but that's okay. A little bit of a buffer. You would think the Chaparral, come on. So you would think that the Chaparral, being a Chevy-powered car, would let the Chevy by. And then pulled me up. Oh, had to take that opening. Oh, that's risky. So again, just because I was a little bit more to the inside for that left-hander, it was just, oh, ow. Just ease off the throttle a little bit just to give me a little bit more control in the turn in, allow me to kind of take that tighter turn. See, that's that bad habit line that I've been taking. And popping out of the carousel. A little bit late there. I don't want to be greedy. I want to actually try and draft these guys down the straight. Even though they're being really slow in the corners. We go. Excuse me. Didn't quite catch the Ferrari's toe. That's okay. He's going in the pits too. Me first. Right of the white line. Big turning, rejoin about here. That way, if somebody is coming through turn one, they've got a little room to work. Okay, so I don't know if we were the first to make our second stop, but our second stop is done. What I don't know for certain is how many of the guys in front of me still have to hit, and how many of them I have to actually race. Yep, I will get him before within points. Nice covering of the inside there. And because I'm waiting to shift up out of that sharp corner from second to third is, you know, as I go to third, I'm going to breathe the throttle and roll back in just to kind of trying to minimize wheel spin at the back on the back tires. So I can get a better straight line launch down the road. Almost crashed into Niki Lauda's Ferrari at Niki Lauda's corner. What do I have to do to stay in the carousel? That could have been better. A little too much on the curves there. After that little left right, depending on what you're doing with the steering wheel and what bumps you hit, it'd be sketchy. Here's. I'm up 7th. I have 3 laps left. I don't know. Well, we'll see how traffic plays out, but I think the guy in front of me, I think I'm going to catch him this lap. That probably won't be a clean lap, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens. You see the puffs of smoke from the front end scraping the ground there. I did just have to tap the brake there a little bit. This apex is. I keep forgetting to downshift to 4th at the plug. Too wide. So there goes that clean lap. That was more hit, miss, miss. Front end scraped, and you could just, car just jolted that a little bit. not perfect, but it would be very difficult to do. Funny thing is I don't know if I'm fighting a losing battle where it's just better to, alright, fine, let it pop out of the carousel. Might actually be faster. Don't know by how much. And a lot of times, for some of these corners, if you notice, I'll do like an initial throttle just to get, just to get the car starting to move forward. And then once I'm sure that the car's not going to do anything funny, then you'll see me then roll fully back into the throttle. Oh, that was almost bad. I think it drifted a little too wide there on braking. I almost went off. Hands. Here's your plane. Oh, misjudged the braking. I was looking at the map. Yeah, fourth gear I think is a lot better. And again, that's going to be sketchy braking. The front end may take off on you when you're under braking and hit that compression. I'll leave it in third this time. A little bit late for that. I was not happy with me. The reason I do that strange line is it straightens out my braking heading in. So it allows me to maybe get on the brakes a little bit later. To do that. On a downshift. No, Mazda, you will not dirty my lap. So I think I'm going to get it dirty anyway because the guy in front of me. If I don't pat, well, yeah, it's going to be dirty by the end of the lap anyway because I'm going to catch him right at the braking for the end of the lap, which will dirty it. But far enough back. The nice thing is that if my current fastest lap is dirty, so as long as I beat that, That wasn't the ideal way to do that. The top 5, maybe we'll get 4th. Ooh, you got a nice drive out of that corner. Better than me. Oh, stop me again. That was miss, miss, miss. And grass. Just getting to a place where I should be able to overhaul and get by the barn hawk here in front of me. Should be able to just on pause. Oh, this is going to be sketchy. Up, and he backed off. That was smart. Yeah, it was much smarter than me in that case. Yep, too fast in. Oh well. Oh, that got very wide. That's why you stay off the curbs, kids. It'll take me a few corners to kind of get back into rhythm. We there yet? Be interesting to see what car finished first here. Just how the results. I'm assuming that that's probably one of the P2 cars. That's going to be a long race on. It's going to feel like a long race. I mean, it's not going to be any longer than what we've been doing, but yeah. Now, again, AI, a little bit different, but 10 laps with 2 pits, starting 2 minutes behind, hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 laps is reasonable. We'll see what Matt decides to do, but just kind of keep that number in your head. But that's the Nürburgring. Oh, it wasn't it was McLaren, it was the 70s F1. So that's the Nordschliefe and the Ford GT. Again, it's going to be very, very sketchy for good chunks of the track. But just, again, the only thing I can say is definitely need to run laps here. If for nothing else, to kind of get your steering smoothed out, know what to kind of expect with some of the bumps, know where the car is going to bottom out, where you're going to feel some thunks, where the nose is going to get really light, because it's really easy to make a mistake or get caught off guard, and then find yourself off the track and losing positions. But anyhow, that's enough of me talking. I'm going to go have dinner. Hope you guys have a great weekend and happy racing, and see you on Thursday.